What's up, everybody out there in YouTube land? Wrath2501 here. Okay, guys, this looked interesting. This is a video by Dreadcore. He does like these stories of certain different characters in Warhammer, set in the Warhammer setting. So, but this one really caught my eye. This is the Doomslayer arrives in Warhammer 40k. All hell breaks loose. Oh my god. Hell yeah, it would. Anyway, let's get started here. It's a short video. And go.
The ground trembled beneath the onslaught of battle. Fire and blood rained down from the skies as the forces of chaos tore their way through the once vibrant city of Lithran Prime.
Coass.
The world had been gripped in terror for weeks. Its sky turned red with the warp breach that hung like an open wound above the city's spires. Through that wound, the armies of the warp poured forth. Heretical Chaos Space Marines, demons of Khorne and Tzeentch, warbands of cultists, and twisted creatures.
That's weird. Why would Tzeentch and Khorne team up? They don't typically do that. In fact, Khorne hates Tzeentch.
But even their formidable might was buckling under the unrelenting pressure. Captain Nathalion of the Salamanders fought at the forefront of the defence. His emerald armour charred from plasma
the Salamanders
caked with the blood of demons.
They're kind of nice guys.
Shattered a bloodletter's skull, and with a roar, he sent the creature's body flying across the battlefield.
Like a projectile!
In a relentless symphony around him. But despite their tenacity, the Salamanders were being pushed back. For every Chaos Space Marine they cut down, 2 more took their place. "They are endless, Captain," Sergeant Drasos shouted over the cacophony of war, firing a burst of heavy bolts.
Meanwhile, the Doomslayer, good. I like my playthings.
Grimacing beneath his
extra durable.
Hold the line, brother. Lithran Prime cannot fall to these heretics. But the line was crumbling. Through the rolling mists of warp energy, more demons surged into reality, an endless tide of fury and corruption. Then came the towering form of a hellbrute, its flesh fused with cursed metal, its massive power claw carved through.
Isn't that just a cyber demon, basically?
Flying. Nathalion's heart sank. The enemy was overwhelming. Then the ground shuddered again, not from the pounding boots of chaos, but from something deeper. A ripple of reality, different from the chaotic breach of the warp. It felt wrong, yet strangely focused. A scream split the air, but it wasn't a sound of fear. It was the dying wail of demons. "Captain, look!" shouted a Marine as he pointed to the warp breach above them. What they saw defied understanding. The demons were retreating, rushing back into the warp as if fleeing from something that they feared.
Yeah.
The which had been moments away from cleaving through another squad, hesitated. Its unholy eyes...
Yeah, you better hesitate, bitch!
As more demons scrambled back toward the rift. Chaos Space Marines glanced at one another, confusion written in their twisted visages. Even the blood-crazed berserkers of Khorne paused in their slaughter. Something was coming.
Something worse.
From the very heart of the warp rift, a figure emerged.
You have no idea
clad in tarnished green armor, smeared with the blood of
damn!
demons.
There's a unit of the Doomslayer, man.
Not the armor that...
I know it's the AI art, but still, that looks badass.
Of death that clung to him. The raw, unrelenting fury that radiated from his being. His face, half hidden beneath a shattered helm, bore a cold, murderous gaze that spoke of endless rage. The Doomslayer had arrived. Captain Nathalion watched in disbelief as the lone figure strode through the battlefield, tearing into the retreating demons with savage brutality.
And he's not even, he just looks like a big guardsman to them.
A torrent of molten plasma from its gun arm. The Doomslayer barely acknowledged it. He leapt through the air with blinding speed, grabbing onto the Hellbrute's massive form. With inhuman strength, he tore open the metal plating, exposing the wretched, pulsating flesh beneath. He reached in,
underbelly.
A single violent motion ripped out the beast's core.
Ooh, got a glory kill right there.
The remaining Chaos Space Marines opened fire on the Doomslayer, their bolters and plasma guns roaring in unison. But the Doomslayer was unstoppable.
It won't do any good, man.
Storm, dodging, weaving, and closing the distance in seconds. With his shotgun in hand, he fired into the face of a Chaos Marine, blowing the corrupted Astartes helmet and head apart in an explosion of gore. His fists followed next, crushing skulls, shattering armor, and
oh good, he's out of ammo! Oh shit, he's out of ammo!
Paper. A bloodthirster, sensing its pride was at stake, emerged from the warp portal, bellowing a challenge. It towered over the battlefield, wings outstretched, a massive axe in hand. The Doomslayer turned its gaze
about
upon it.
that.
In a blur of motion, he leapt onto the demon, driving his blade, a brutal praetor knife, deep into the creature's neck.
That'd be his wrist blade.
With a swift, savage twist, he decapitated the bloodthirster in one motion, its headless body crashing to the ground like a falling monument. Nathaniel could barely comprehend what he was seeing.
Like, the fuck?
Doomslayer moved faster than any mortal, faster than any space marine. He tore through the Chaos forces with reckless abandon, a whirlwind of death that the demons and heretics could not withstand.
And he never gets tired.
He pushed forward toward the warp.
He'll fight for
leaving
centuries
a trail of
and
corpses
never
in his
even
wake,
slow down a little
forcing the once unstoppable horde of Chaos back through their own breach. And then, just as quickly as it had begun, it was over. The Doomslayer stood at the edge of the battlefield, breathing heavily, surrounded by the shattered bodies.
See, that's the problem right there. See, he wouldn't be
green
breathing
armor
heavily. He'd just be breathing
splattered
normally.
demons and
Because
Chaos
he
marines
wouldn't be
alike.
winded.
His hands.
He doesn't even need to breathe.
The salamanders, stunned into silence, watched the figure as he turned toward them. They raised their bolters, their fingers hovering over their triggers,
I wouldn't.
uncertain of who or what.
Get on your knees and worship your new god emperor.
Nathaniel barked, his voice firm, despite the awe and unease that gripped him. The Doomslayer said nothing at first. He stepped closer, his eyes burning with intensity, his muscles coiled like a predator ready to strike. The tension in the air was palpable. Then, with a single deliberate motion, the Doomslayer reached into the pile of corpses at his feet and picked up the severed head of a massive demon. Its face was twisted in a permanent scream of agony. He tossed the head at Nathaniel.
That's like a combo right there of Doomslayer and Master Chief right there.
Show me where I can find more, the Doomslayer growled.
More.
His voice low and filled with wrath. For a moment, there was only silence. The salamanders exchanged glances, still unsure whether this warrior was an ally or a threat. But Nathaniel...
that depends on you,
nodded
Spanky.
slowly, lowering his bolter.
Yeah, you better.
More will come.
Better recognize.
His voice steady. Chaos is never far. Doomslayer nodded in return, his eyes burning with a savage hunger. He turned away, glancing back toward the warp rift, as though daring the forces of the Immaterium to return. The salamanders had fought countless battles against the horrors of chaos. They had seen entire worlds consumed by the warp, their skies torn open by the madness of the gods. But never had they witnessed something like this.
Yeah.
A force of nature incarnate, a being that seemed to thrive on the slaughter of demons.
Pushes back against
Captain
them.
Nathaniel clenched his fists, feeling a strange sense of kinship with the Doomslayer, despite the brutal ferocity that separated them. Prepare for the next assault, brothers, he commanded. We fight alongside the Slayer today. And as the sky above Lithran Prime crackled with warp energy, as the storm of chaos once again gathered on the horizon, the salamanders knew one thing for certain. The Doomslayer was here to kill, and the war had only just begun.
Yeah, and that's it. See, that's where you're wrong, though. The war hasn't just begun. The war is over. The demons just don't realize it yet. Punisher and Warhammer 40k. Nice. Anyway, guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. That's a good one. I like that story. Most people don't realize what the Doomslayer is. Anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed that. Like this video, subscribe. Definitely click on the link to the original in the description. Like the original and sub to Dreadcore's channel. All right, they have under 3K subs, guys. Come on, we got to help him out. Pump him up to 10K. He deserves it because this is a good story. I think he writes these himself. I don't think he's pulling them up from Reddit or anything. Okay. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I will see you guys next time. Tune in every day for new content. Bye-bye.